We have Ms. Mani Mekhalai, the MD and CEO of Union Bank of India, joining in on the show right now. Ms. Mekhalai, your guidance for NIMs between 2.8 to 3% is slightly lower than your current numbers. Do you think there will be some pressure on margins going forward?
See, the last year, if you look at the margins were sustained because of we had quite a big chunk of MCLR loans which were getting repriced. We were also seeing many other aspects of business which were growing. My only concern during the current year why I have reduced my margins is, of course, the implications from the Reserve Bank of India or from the market that the rate cuts would be there, and that's the reason that we have reduced. Otherwise, my growth on the growth front, we observe that we will be growing at a steady pace, and we will be able to keep up with the margins. So we have just said 2.8 to 3%. Last year also I gave a guidance that we will be at 3%, but we have overachieved the target. And this year also, with the very many initiatives being taken by the bank, we are sure that we will be able to meet our guidance of at least 3%.
You've given a guidance of 11 to 13% lending growth this year. Where do you think the growth is coming from, and do you believe that same sectors will continue to perform?
See, our loan growth has been very steady. If you have seen in over the last 2 to 3 years, we have been steadily growing at about 11% to 12%. Last year we grew at 13.5%. Today, this time I have given a guidance of 11% growth, and that will surely be happening. I have seen growth in the RAM sector. I have seen growth in my corporate sector, especially in the RAM sector. We have seen growth of almost 13.8%. We have seen in the corporate sector a growth of almost 9.3%. In the gold loan, I have grown by 47%. Education loan, I have grown by 58%. On vehicle loan also, I have grown by 23%. We have seen a lot of growth in many of the industries, many of the pockets we have identified. Even today, we have identified sectors like tourism, steel, green energy. These are the sectors that I feel that there will be a lot of growth in the coming quarters. So we are looking at growth in those locations also. We are also looking at a revival of the capex cycle in the next financial year, probably after this half year of September, and then we will be seeing a real growth in these sectors also.
Home loan portfolio has grown at a relatively muted pace of 9 to 10%. Why is that, and do you think this will improve, this will pick up?
See, home loan sector has grown only by 9%, as you pointed out rightly. And we have seen that in India, there are about 4 or 5 pockets across the country that the growth of home loans happens. That is in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Pune. These are the centers that the growth is usually happening. But we have seen not much of a growth in these locations. We have revamped the way we want to do business. We have also started looking at, builder finances. We have also started looking at, tie-ups with more builders. We have also, as I told you last time also, we have a separate subsidiary called the UBISL, which will help us in, marketing of our home loan sector also. So I am seeing a growth, at least in tandem with the industry. I will be able to grow a good pace in the home loan sector this year.
Okay, growing at least at the pace of the industry. But what about your operational costs? Because that spiked this quarter, perhaps probably because of the wage increase and the cost increase in terms of the employment expense. But what about the way forward, and what's the targeted cost to income ratio then?
See, the OPEX is only if you see the OPEX has grown only in the 4th quarter because of the bipartite settlement and the pension provisions that we have made. As I have already informed everyone that the additional provision of 1,334 crore affected the OPEX. Secondly, we have also made good provisioning, almost 100% provisioning we have made in the last quarter and the quarters before that. And if you have seen, my provisional coverage ratio has also increased to about 32.39 crores in 92.39 crores, sorry, we have increased. And that's the reason that there has been a slight increase in my OPEX. In the current year, I am sure that we will be able to keep the OPEX under control. Because all my provisioning I have been able to do on the bipartite settlement side, but there will be a little bit of OPEX because I am looking at increasing more number of branches, and that's the reason that, and spend on technology, that is another area that I'm looking at. So there will be a slight increase in my OPEX also, but I should be able to control it between 44 to 45%.
Right. 28% of your corporate loan book is project finance loans at present. Have you made any assessment of the impact of RBI's project financing norms?
See, if you look at my corporate book is about 4.07 trillion. Out of that, 1.17 trillion is my NBFC book, and beyond that, 2,90,000, 2.90 trillion of that. 68% is my 28% is my project finance. Out of that, 68% of that is project which has already been completed and where I am seeing a cash flow. Now, the RBI guidelines are in the draft phase, and we do not see much of an impact. Anyway, there is a lot of clarity that needs to be coming up in the RBI guidelines, and we have also sent our feedback to RBI, and we are just hoping that the regulator will give us a proper guidance in the matter, and we will be able to take that impact, and it is of course very manageable.
Your fresh slippage of rupees 3,200 crore, and there is elevated stress in the MSME segment. Are there any concerns which you see in the foreseeable future?
See, the slippages happened in the last quarter, especially in the area of agriculture and MSME. If you look at for the whole year, if you look at agriculture contributed to about 4,000 crores, MSME contributed to about 3,310 crores. MSME I am not very much worried on because most of them are collateral based and they are all CGTMSE covered, and MSME will be, it is manageable. The slippages are under control there. Agriculture is an area where we are a little concerned, and this is the area, usually it happens in the last quarter because of the harvest season and the payouts that come in. It is because of the seasonality of the agriculture industry. That's the reason that we see quite a good slippages in the last quarter, and in the current quarter and the after that, all these limits which are expired will be now taken care, and then we also can give fresh advances. So I have no problem in also seeing that the agriculture and the MSME is back on the track. And with regard to the NPA guidance that we gave at 4%, I am sure that we will be able to give a better numbers than the 4% that we have given. We have said less than 4%, so we will be surely able to do. If you look at last year, what we have done, almost like we have done in the OTS, we have taken a lot of recovery has come through OTS. We have done a lot of recovery through DRT, SARFAESI, NCLT, NARCL, all areas we have been able to do. OTS has given us a lot of recovery in the last year. Almost like 50,000 accounts were settled under the OTS. SARFAESI about almost 10,500 number of SARFAESI we were able to do in the last year. So I am sure with all the very many initiatives that the bank is taking, like what we have set up, SAM and the ARB branches, and a lot of other initiatives like the RCOCs and the feet on street through my UBSL team that I have taken care. I'm sure that I will be able to meet the guidance of less than 4% at least.
Okay, Ms. Mani Mekhlai, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today. We're going to take a very quick break, come right back. Lots more managements to chat with on the other side.